Hey everyone, welcome back to Miniature Game Montage. Today we're going to talk about my recent experience with Kill Team, in which you'll see that battle report coming up next. We're going to talk about some issues that I had with it and what the future of Kill Team may be for the channel. Alright, it's certainly good to have you with us. I am Jimmy, and this week I did play a game of Kill Team, and I really struggled with it. And I look back to what Kill Team was when I was having fun with it and what it has become, which I see as just a rules-bloated mess. And if you recall back in 2021, when Kill Team went through the first iteration that we know today, I absolutely loved the system that they had designed. It felt pretty quick, it was intuitive, I felt like the rules were really good, and I was having a good time playing. But as new Kill Teams have been introduced and some mechanics have changed here and there, things have just gotten really crazy. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way that this video is not to bash on Games Workshop, Warhammer, Kill Team, any of that stuff. There's plenty of other channels for that. I happen to like a lot of the games that Games Workshop produces. I play many of them on the channel. There's just so much out there for that, so you won't find that here. But fundamentally what has changed, at least as I see it, is that Kill Team originally came out as a game, a skirmish game that you could play in almost over the course of lunch. And I remember saying that in a previous video and folks called me crazy, but here's the Warhammer community article to prove what Kill Team was originally intended as. And what it has become is just something that it feels so far over my head that I genuinely don't want to play the game anymore. And so much to the fact where I had set a game up, I was trying to walk through with me and my son, as we normally do, playing the game, and we both kind of got so tired of just rummaging through the rules and the app that we just said, hey look, let's just clear this out, and we're not going to play this game. And that is when I made a post on my community page to say, hey look, I'm really struggling with Kill Team, and someone was actually kind enough in the community that lived close by. They knew who I was, obviously. They reached out and said, hey, would love to come and play a game with you and show you the ropes. Again, you'll see that battle report in the next week or so, but I was really happy that they did that because I was genuinely at my breaking point. Now, I have to think that things like this are done with a purpose. If you've worked for any kind of manufacturer, if you're familiar with those, or marketing strategy or anything like that, most of these companies are going to have a 1, 3, 5-year marketing plan, and they know when the new editions are coming out. They know when the new products are going to get released. I'm maybe not so sure they know how that is going to impact the current meta or the game just yet, but I have to assume that a lot of these things are done with intention, because it seems like that we go through this cycle a lot where there's a new release, all the teams or all the factions kind of get a hard reset. I feel like things at that point in time are really exciting. People are just kind of figuring things out. The rules aren't overly complicated, and then as things progress, things start to get bolted on. There's new ploys, there's new factions, there's new kill teams, there's new kill zones, there's new interactions that you can have, and then the bloat just starts to pile on. And then people get to a breaking point and they say, hey look, I've had enough. And then there's a hard reset, a new edition comes out, and the cycle starts all over again. Now, that's the naysayer in me, but at the same time, I look at all the things that I have to remember just to play a game of Kill Team, and just to get started, there's like a 20-step sequence that you have to go through, from setting up the kill zone, to picking your equipment, to everything else. And looking at Kill Team in particular, and I'm using this game as the reference point, but let's say that you have a kill team of 10 operatives. Well, each one of those operatives will do something special, so that is something that you have to commit to memory and really know to make your kill team effective. In addition, there are 4 pieces of equipment that you can take, and the equipment for the most part used to be things that were pretty simple, like, okay, well, you can take ladders, or you can take light barricades, maybe some smoke grenades, But then the equipment can be things that may allow you to turn 2 misses into a hit, or dice manipulation, and these are all things that you have to remember while playing the game. And I really hope you like to read, because there's about a paragraph's worth on each of these. And then we get into ploys. I was really bad in playing our game about playing a strategic ploy and then completely forgetting it in the firefight phase. But there are ways to manipulate dice. You have to know your strategic ploys extremely well. In addition, you have to know what you're trying to do. There's going to be a critical that you're trying to accomplish, what the game is. And then along with that, there's going to be a tac op, something that you're trying to do specifically for your faction. Now layer that on with 4 or so firefight ploys that allow you to react and maybe change dice rolls and things like that in the action phase, and then layer on top just your regular game mechanics such as cover and obscurity and things like that. And I think that you just get into a very messy system to where it almost feels like if you don't specialize and if you don't commit yourself to one kill team, then you're really going to struggle with memorizing multiple factions, if you will. And I hate that feeling of kind of being pigeonholed into, hey, look, you only have to play one faction and be really good at it. I want to play a ton of different factions, and I don't want to have to commit all of this stuff to memory. It makes it just so difficult. And I'm not sure, quite frankly, if that's a tactic. If it is to, hey, look, we want to get you in this ecosystem and we want you to focus so you don't get out of it and you don't, this is going to be kind of what you do with your game time is you're going to play the Necron forces or the Astartes or whatever, and you're going to play kill team. I'm not sure if that's what it's meant to be, but it feels like that is more and more what it is becoming. Now, with the overwhelming amount of time that I spent kind of referencing all of the ploys, keeping up with my command points, keeping up with the victory points, now if you don't win initiative, there's some kind of initiative card that allows you to reroll your initiative dice. Pieces of equipment are allowing you to change misses to hits and hits to crits and everything else. It was a real mess for someone that just kind of wanted to get back into Kill Team. And, I haven't played the Pathfinders yet with the new update. That was the faction that I went with, and I spent more time, I felt, looking at rules than I did actually playing the game. So that lunchtime game that Kill Team was originally pitched as took probably 3.5 to 4 hours for us to actually play. Now, I get that everyone is going to be different, and if you know your faction and you know your rules really well, this is totally not going to apply to you. I would think in a tournament situation, you probably have 1.5 to 2 hours max to play your games, but for just your everyday folks that are looking to play Kill Team, maybe try a new faction, it's going to take you a long time, and then you're going to forget a lot of these things along the way, such as when I played Pathfinders, I would play the strategic ploy, take cover, and would totally forget in the firefight phase that I had played that ploy. So it was a lot, and I was very thankful that my friend came over to really kind of help guide me through the process. But even during play and after, I kept saying, I think this game might be just on a different level from where I'm at or what I would like out of my war games. I think there's just too much going on. And I'm not sure if it's done with purpose or not. I'm not sure if things like this are meant to happen or if it just happens. But I want my old Kill Team back that I found to be fun, and I think that's probably what you're going to see on the channel moving forward. I don't think that I can kind of keep up with the Joneses, if that's what you want to call it, with the latest and greatest Kill Teams that are coming out. When I look at the Hierotech Circle and some of the ploys they have where you drop all these things, and if you're between them, you get all these buffs or something like that, I just can't keep up with all of that's happening. But I think maybe the future for this channel is to revert Kill Team to the light rules instead of what I'm seeing now, because the product that I'm seeing on the table right now is just something that I'm just not very comfortable with playing. And when you're making a battle report, you want it to be a good experience for the person watching, but more than anything, you want to be sure that you're having fun when you're playing it. And my opponent was awesome. I absolutely loved kind of playing and interacting with him. He made the game fun, but the game itself was really a struggle. So I think the light rules is where I'm going to focus my efforts moving forward. It is going to be a slimmed down version of Kill Team, which was supposed to be a slimmed down version of a skirmish game. I'm going to try to get back to that lunch hour's worth of fun with, some narrative focused Kill Team factions that I enjoy. So I don't want this to be considered a rant, although it does feel like one. I want to like Kill Team and I want to play it. I feel like it's just on a different level of devotion than I can commit to. And, maybe this game is going to be perfect for a lot of folks out there, and that's totally okay. And especially if you just want to play one faction or maybe two factions. But for someone like me who wanted to kind of collect a lot of different factions and put them on the table, it just doesn't make sense to try to keep up with everything that's going on with Kill Team currently. So, I don't know what your thoughts are. Let me know down in the comments what you think about Kill Team. Have you played it for a while? What are your thoughts on where it is currently? I would love to hear that. So, hey, look, thanks so much for watching. Supporters Club, your names are on the screen now, and I always say that's by no means necessary. I'm one of those people where I will never ask for anything. So, thank you for watching and for leaving a comment, maybe a like down below. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.